Hey, welcome back, anglers. Mark with Desert Vegas Fishing. I just got back from a 3 day on the Indy, and it always delivers, right? That's such a wonderful boat. I love going on the Independence. So, as of like middle of July, end of July, what fish start running down at Alijos Rocks is the Wahoo, which is an exciting fish. They have different names, skinnies, big barracuda, all kinds of different names. But I just wanted to go over some gear and tips today. If you're able to get on one of these great boats and head down for a 7 to 12 day trip, because it's really cool to do it. So um, they usually run from July to November generally, and the water temperature is usually like 71 to 78, 79 degrees. That's kind of like the sweet spot for Wahoo. So it takes a while for the water to warm up down there at Alijos Rocks. I've gone on 3 8 day trips where we targeted Wahoo, and you pick up all these tips and tricks, and I wanted to just share with you what I know and what I've learned on these trips, and maybe it'll help you. Like, you could use this as a little refresher before you go. So the main core of Wahoo fishing is going to be trolling. They're usually going to run a 4 rod spread out the back, maybe 5, depending on how big the boat is. Most of them will probably do 4, and they usually do 2 shorts on the end. They'll usually like run them real close, right in the wake, and then they'll run the other 2 a ways back. Now you can use their gear, their trollers. They've got plenty of them, or if you want to bring yours, you can do that, and I'll kind of go over what I bring and what I use. So as far as lures go, you don't have to get really complicated with it. I'm just going to go over a few that work really good that I had luck with, and then you can go get a few if you want. I think they probably even sell them on the boats, but I would just try to get everything before you go. So generally, when you troll, you can use wire. You can wire these up with obviously a flexible cable or hard wire, or however you want to do it, because Wahoo have really sharp teeth, and you'll lose a lot of lures if you don't use wire. You can use mono, but we'll get into that in a second. But I think I've always used wire on the troll because it's more a reactionary bite. Especially if the lure's coming this way. Sometimes the fish is coming at it this way, and they'll like grab the head of it with the wire in their mouth at the same time. So it's better to use wire. So having said that, let's go over the first one. The first one is a Halco Max. You can see this one is just all chewed up, and actually I think this one, yeah, the last one cracked this one, I think. But this really worked well. It's a great lure. It's like a giant lipless lure. And you always want to use single hooks with Wahoo. They'll tell you that, and we'll get into that in a second. But the Halco Max, great lure. I like it in green. I've always had good luck with it. You'll see all the teeth marks. I've got like 3 on this one. So you can kind of see how chewed up it is. The other one is a Yozuri Bonita. This is also a really good lure. Same thing. This comes pre-rigged, has the swivels on the hooks, which I think probably helps, if the fish is twisting and rotating. And also I have it wired up. Usually you can wire these with 80 to 120 pound wire or more, depending on what you want to do. You can even go as heavy as this guy right here, which is a 275 pound. And that's probably going to be your best bet, so you don't lose jigs. And like I said, you can probably get away with heavier wire on the troll because they don't see it as easy, I don't think. Next one is a fan favorite. This is a Nomad DTX. They come bigger than this. They also make another one, a newer one. It's like a heavy duty version. Great lures, really, really good lures. Has a little auto tune device in the front. And when you run these, this is a Nomad DTX, when you run these, you just have to make sure that this wire down here, this connection down here is really minimal, or sometimes they don't run right, or they don't just track well. But when it runs right and tracks good, these are amazing. They'll catch you a lot. Next one's probably one of my favorites. This is a Mag Track lure by Mag Bay. This thing is just wicked. See how the hook is held up by a magnet right there. This thing just tracks perfectly straight. And I've got the 275 on this one cable, and I love it. And you'll usually get your bigger fish on this one from whatever reason. I think I got like a 58 one year, which is it was a huge wahoo. So this, I lost one. This one I think only caught one. I got some scars and damage on it, but great lure. And then the last one, just take yourself an old tried and true Nomad Mad Mac. You know all the rage on these. You remember these were like raging years ago for bluefin, but these catch wahoo. I've caught it on the mackerel pattern as well. You can go pink. Just kind of see what's working and what they like for the day. But again, these track really straight. I really like these lipless style lures the best because they're not finicky. You just put them in and you go. So, and then the deckhands will, you know, they'll put your lure where they think it needs to be. Just let them do it, okay? Then once you hook up on a troll, you're going to hear the reel go off, deckhands are going to yell, and then you're going to hear the captain probably come on the intercom and say, okay, anglers, don't cast near the trolled fish. Well, we'll get into that, but you're not supposed to really cast iron or bombs behind the bait tank, but people still do. And over the years, I've watched the more successful anglers, and it seems like those guys will hook up with more wahoo when they're casting almost kind of near the trolled fish, because I think what happens is the other wahoo are following the one that's hooked, like a lot of fish do. They say, hey, what's going on, right? So there was one guy in one trip I was watching, and he would do that a lot, and he would hook up. So you got to just check with the deckhand, see what their temperament is, you know, see what you can get away with. But I think that's a trick and a tip to take with you. I think you're going to catch more wahoo if you cast behind the bait tank into the zone because it's fresh and there's more wahoo back there. So, okay. So when it's your turn to cast bombs, there's a variety. So my number one is this Captain's JRI bomb, or it's green and yellow. You just wire it right on the nose. It's got this spinner back here, and it's got this nice hook. You want to sharpen all your hooks out of the box. You want to take your little stone, because wahoo's mouths are super hard, and a lot of times what happens is they'll bite it right in the middle of the jig. And when you hook up, they're going to tell you just reel through the fish. Don't set it, don't pump it, just reel, because what's going to happen is that jig is eventually going to slip down, and that hook is going to hook them right in the mouth. Because a lot of times, like I said, they'll bite it right in the center. There's been times where the captain has said where they bite it, and they've reeled it in, and it's still holding just right in the middle of the jig. It's not even hooked. So just remember that. So I like the greens and the yellows myself, but I'm sure any color will work. This is a catchy tackle spinner bomb. I've caught them on this too. The trick is when you cast out, you want to cast out as far as you can. I let it sink down 45 degrees, and then you want to burn it back as fast as you possibly can. Okay, you can't reel fast enough with these. And I'll get into what reel I use. I have a couple of them in a second. And this is a catchy tackle, just regular. It doesn't have the spinner on it, but it's got a spinner on the back, and these work really good too. So I've caught them on this purple and silver, so it's a really good color. So those work good too. The other one is if you want to, you can take like a big P-line sardine jig and just put a big single on it. I've never caught one on this, but I've seen guys use this, and they've caught fish on this before, so it's really good. Okay, so let's talk about the rods you can use. So what I do is I double up, triple up on a lot of my rods. So my Viper is my core heavy rod, my UC Viper. I've made a video about this before. So I'll use this for like 3 or 4 different techniques. And what I do is I put my Mac 20 on there. And right now I've got this lug turned down. But what I do is I turn it up. And then because there's hooks on the boat that will hook into your eye-rings, and it just hangs on these ropes in the back, okay? And then when I'm done wahoo fishing, if we're going to do some other, like years ago, we'd go to Guadalupe Island for the big dropper loop yellowtail, I just fold this back down because I could cup the reel. And I've talked about this before. But this reel and this rod is what I use to Wahoo troll, and it does great. I've got a 100-pound braid on it, and like I said, you can run it to mono and use heavy-duty mono leader, which a lot of guys do. They'll use like 300-pound leader. They say that you get bit more on mono, but you lose more jigs, so it's a trade-off. So just kind of see what works best for you. Next, for the Wahoo bombs, there's 2 rods I use. I use my Terminator 30 to 80 Goosa Premium. You know, in my other videos, I told you this is one of my favorite rods. It's just an amazing rod. And if I had to take one rod, that would be it. And then I pair it with an Okuma Alijos 12. This reel is absolutely fantastic because it's got a 6-to-4 to 1 high speed on the high, and then it's got a 2.1 to 1 on the low. So I can just burn these jigs, and I use it for my yo-yos for yellowtail too, also off the bottom. This is like an all-around, and I use it for bait. So this is one of my favorite reels in my whole arsenal. I love this reel. So it's an Okuma Alijos 12. Highly recommended. I've got 65-pound braid on here. And then obviously we're going to talk about what you're going to connect your bombs with in just a second. There's a couple different theologies or ideas there. One, talk to you could just leave it as the wire, okay, the flexible wire, the cable, and a lot of guys think you don't get bit as much, and that's probably true, but you probably land more fish because you don't get sawed through, right? The other technique is guys will take a doubled up surgeon's loop knot. See how that's doubled up like that? Okay, and the theory is that you're basically getting double protection, because even if one of these legs gets sawed off, you're still able to fight with one leg. So they think that you're getting double the protection, but you're getting the clarity of the mono, so they don't see it as much. And that one guy I was telling you about that was casting behind the bait tank that was slaying him, this is what he was doing. Okay, so you can do a spider hitch or a 4-turn surgeon, but again, experiment. Okay, it's a good technique. It's a good technique, and like I said, I've learned over all these years I've been watching these guys. Now for the Wahoo specialists, and I've had a few on board, they will use that really fine wire. It's like 35, 40-pound wire. It's really thin, and they've got their nice little tool, and it's all systematically put together, and it looks amazing, and it works really good too. So the thought there is you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting the thin diameter so you can't see it, and you're also getting the bite protection. The trick with that is you have to have your drag set perfectly, and usually those Wahoo specialists will use a tension gauge on the boat and tension out their drag exactly to that wire. So it's perfect. So it works. It's a really great technique. So when you're winding these jigs back to the boat and you're burning these jigs back to the boat, you want to stop the lure 5 feet underneath the water. And the captains and the deckhands will tell you that. And the reason is because if you have a Wahoo chasing it at 30 miles an hour and you bring it up out of the water, there's been a lot of cases where that fish shoots out of the water and onto the boat. And I don't know if this is an old wives' tale, but this is a funny story. We heard it from a captain, and it could be a fishing tale, but this happened one year, and the Wahoo actually came up out of the water. The guy ducked, and the window was open to the kitchen galley, and apparently it went right into the galley, and they clubbed it, and they killed it right in the kitchen. I don't know. It sure was a good story. But anyways, stop your jig 5 feet underneath the water, okay? And it's just for safety. So you definitely want to do that. No open-toed shoes. Like right now I have these sandals on. These are good for travel days, but you definitely want to wear your deck boots or even a tennis shoe. I remember one guy, it wasn't a Wahoo jaw that got him. Something got his toe, and his toe was mangled, man. And he had those flip-flops on, and you don't want that when you're Wahoo fishing. So that's about it, guys, for Wahoo. The other last rod I use, or let me go over that real quick, is this This is a UC swim bait rod, 20 to 50. I went over this before, and I'll usually put like a 400 size reel or my 500 Lexa on it. This Lexa is an incredible reel. I just caught like an 80-pound tuna on it my last trip here on the Indy. It was rough, believe me. Being a single speed and 8-to-1, it was all technique, and I had to get down and up and down and put leverage on the fish. But for Wahoo, I think it's going to be perfect. It's got a high speed on it, and it levels the line for you, and you can just worry about burning it back and fighting the fish. So this is another great reel for Wahoo. So try it out. Okay, well, hey, I think that's it. So anglers, have an amazing time and catch a whole bunch of fish down there, okay? Talk to you soon, and thank you very much for watching my channel. I appreciate it. Bye now.